Well, here we go. Hey everyone, it's Masterath here, and welcome to a very, very important update video. Spoiler warning, if you're an active watcher, it's probably not good news. Essentially, this is going to be quite a lengthy update about my recording schedule and pretty much everything that's going to be happening in the future when it comes to this channel. But for new watchers of this channel checking me out for the first time, I guess we'll have a bit of a very brief rundown of my almost 17 years of making YouTube videos, how I've been so consistent for so long, and yeah, quite a lot of other things. I'm not good at making these announcements. Yeah, quite obviously, I'm not very good at these. So in June of 2007, I created my first YouTube channel, just after my 14th birthday, called Masterath, which is where the name comes from. And the channel is still going at the moment, but it's sort of very much relegated to just the Global Trophy, an annual football series that I do with my good friend Sam Elliott64. And in around 2009, I started getting really into Let's Play videos, which were a huge thing back in around 2009, very sort of early YouTube. And after watching certain YouTubers like Kikoskia, Necroscope86, and Sonic Dude 101, now Ant Dude, yeah, I decided, why don't I try and do that? And the original recordings I did were absolutely awful. They were pretty much done with a camera very similar to this, only pointed at a television. I didn't own any form of capture card, and I didn't know much when it comes to emulators, or microphones, or anything like that. Pretty much a very, very bargain basement project. And all of those videos were uploaded to the Masterath channel. And in November of 2010, I decided, well, it's a bit cluttered up on that channel. Just a bit. So I decided to create a brand new channel, Masterath Gaming, the channel you're watching this video from right now. I essentially deleted all of the videos from the Masterath channel that were about my Let's Plays and put them onto this channel. Very few of those videos actually still exist these days. The reason for that is because in a couple of years, I essentially did redos of them, now knowing things like emulators, screen captures, getting capture cards, getting a microphone, just to make it look a lot better. Even though it was pretty much like 144p, they still don't look very good, my very, very early stuff. But a damn sight better than, using a camera, a really cheap £20 camera, propped on a bunch of videotapes, looking at a television. It's still a lot better than, hopefully it's gotten a lot better now at least. So we fast forward to October of 2013, where the daily uploads begin. After a fair few months of having a video every 2 days, I had built up enough of a schedule that I thought I could probably do daily uploads now, with one new video uploaded every single day bar Christmas Day, and that is a tradition that is still here today, almost 10.5 years later. We fast forward now to October of 2023, just last year, where pretty much we celebrated 10 years of daily uploads. And it's still daily uploads at the moment. However, here is sort of where the issue comes in, I guess, which is how much longer can I keep up that momentum? And I've been thinking for years when it comes to this about what happens when eventually this channel goes dormant. It's going to at some point. And essentially what to do from there, what happens to the channel pretty much, because that day is looming. Now, don't worry, this is not a retirement video. It really isn't. I'm not going to do a Captain Sparkles or a Tom Scott or a Matt Pat. Don't worry, it's not one of those videos. But essentially, it is a video about the future of this channel and what's going to happen. So first off, why is this even a thing? Why am I looking essentially at what happens when this channel goes dormant? The simple reason is, quite honestly, I don't think that I can keep up the momentum of doing daily uploads for too much longer. While the schedule is in the best place it's ever been at the moment, I'm almost 15 months ahead of my current recording schedule. I'm doing videos right now. I've got one rendering right now on this Sunday afternoon that's actually going to be probably going out around May of next year. We're that far ahead at the moment. But as the years have gone by and advance in age and medical problems and everything like that, I'm going in for surgery, for example, in August, which will probably put me on the shelf for at least a month when it comes to this. it's always good to have that schedule, which is... It's one of the things that actually a lot of people in the gaming community on, like, forums actually laughed about having a schedule that vast. And I was right in my convictions that it's good that I actually had that. And I still have that to this day. But as the years have gone by, it's gotten a lot more difficult. I've noticed I've been burning out a lot more than I used to. And a lot of it is because I do myself no favors on occasions. And on some things, it's just fatigue and burnout, things that I've essentially been dealing with for a very long time. And in the end, maintaining the momentum on this channel has had a bit of a detriment at times. It's been to the point that instead of looking after myself physically and mentally, I've been focusing on these projects instead, which mostly is fine if I'm in the right headspace for it. And quite obviously on some occasions I haven't been. And it's sort of become a bit more of a chore than just a bit of fun, to be honest, which is why it started in the first place. Plus also just the simple fact that YouTube, I've never gotten on with YouTube quite well, and it's just been an absolute chore completely when it comes to YouTube, and it's just getting worse, is YouTube. It's just getting worse. For those who don't know, I am eligible for being essentially sort of partnered and earning money from making this content on a daily basis, but YouTube essentially screwed me over on that about 9 years ago, and after multiple attempts of trying to get the monetization brought back, they have not gotten back to me once. Essentially, it's the whole automated crap, and that's about it. And essentially, they're perfectly fine with top YouTubers doxing other top YouTubers and giving them a metaphorical slap on the wrist for a week, but they can't get back to someone who hasn't even done that. I apologize if I do come off as a bit bitter. That's mostly because I am. To be honest, YouTube's completely crap these days. And I've said this for years, if there was a viable alternative to YouTube, you'd never see me on YouTube again. I would download all my videos, all over 4,000 of them, painstakingly as that would be, but I would transfer them over to the viable alternative and just upload on there instead, because YouTube is a hellhole, and it's horrible. And essentially, it's very similar to what I've been saying, as I said, for years when it comes to YouTube, is that it's just not viable, really. So those stresses pretty much, alongside a lot of other stresses, both physically and mentally, it's gotten to the point that this channel is maybe at points doing more harm than good. Now, obviously, if I did YouTube as a full-time career, could be essentially paid for it, a decent amount, let's say, then a lot of those stresses would be gone. But unfortunately, I've essentially assigned myself to the fact that that's just not going to happen. It's not. I've held out on one string of hope for years. But yeah, it's not going to happen. Doesn't matter how many Swords and Sandals videos that I may do. It's just not going to happen. And I've essentially come to terms with it, and I've made peace with it, that it's just not going to happen. So essentially then it becomes what it's always been, which is just making videos for the fun of it and, and enjoying it. And that's been fine, but that has its own problems as well. On a lot of occasions, for example, the weekends and essentially time off I have, I've been doing a lot of recordings instead of sort of focusing on myself, and that's to my fault when it comes to that. But that has probably helped in causing quite a lot of burnouts. So anyway, enough chat about my sort of grievances, I guess, with YouTube and the fact that essentially this is not going to be a viable career for me. I'm 30 years old at this point, and it's just not going to be a viable career for me. What happens, essentially, when that schedule runs out? Well, essentially, we enter into what I call Phase 2. And there are a couple of questions, really, that probably will need to be answered about Phase 2. First off, when will it happen? I don't know, is the thing. That's the problem. I don't know when it will happen. But that question is the most important question when it comes to that. Essentially, the best thing I can say is it will happen when the schedule runs out. And at the moment, the schedule, as I've mentioned, is looking the best it's ever been. So it'll run out after that. It won't be this year. Definitely not. I doubt it's going to be next year either. However, 2026 might be more likely. So then, essentially after that, Phase 2 gets put into motion, pretty much. So, what happens? Essentially, what more than likely is going to happen is the channel will just go dormant. It just will. However, obviously I've been a video gamer for, 25 years, over 25 years, and I do still like playing games every so often, truly enjoy it. A lot of games I actually play are for the channel. Very rarely do I do it in just social times, I guess, in just for myself, really. It's always just to get that content, get the content for the channel. But that does mean that I may want to, sort of dip my toe back into YouTube at some point. So, more than likely, if I am working on a project, I will finish that project and then will essentially start uploading it. So don't think of this as the channel's going to essentially die in 2026. It's not. It's simply the fact that it's going to be a lot more sparse recordings. It's not going to be the wake up at 9 o'clock British Standard Time every morning and you get a new video from Masterath. It's not going to be that. And I say 2026, it could very well be the case that by the time 2026 comes along, we could still be doing daily uploads at that point. Again, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know a specific date, a specific month, not even a specific year. It could be 2026, it could be 2025, it could be 2027. It could never happen. Well, I hope it does happen, to be honest, because there's only one reason why it would never happen. Don't really want to think about that, personally. But yeah, so essentially that is Phase 2. We're sort of in the twilight of my almost 17 years YouTube career. And yeah, that's pretty much been this video. I don't know I know what's going to happen, but I don't know when it comes to the channel. And yeah, if this is sort of like my last update, I guess, because I don't do these very often at all when it comes to video updates and everything like that, then I'd just like to say thank you very much, everyone, for so many years of watching the channel, subscribing, liking, commenting, supporting, everything. Thank you very much. To be honest, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be making YouTube videos at this point. I probably wouldn't be doing that when it comes to that, but in the end, I don't get paid anything from YouTube when it comes to doing this. This is simply a part-time hobby of mine. Bar, of course, my Patreon, of course. Link in the description. But yeah, in the end, the fact that it's watched by a lot of people, the fact that I'm the most subscribed YouTuber in my town of 20,000 people is amazing and also hilarious, personally. It's, yeah, got more subscribers than the local college and the council, which I think is just quite funny for a small market town here in Gloucestershire. There, guys, once again, thank you very much for all the support. And if you want to leave a comment, then leave a comment on this video about, screw it, your favourite Masterath moment. I'm saying this like it's a bloody retirement video. It's not. It's not. It's just what's going to be happening in the future. It's not a retirement video. It's not a retirement video. I'm not even going to put a clickbait title or something. I'm not going to do that. That's clout chasing. That's rubbish. That goes completely against what this channel is, which is literally just a fat bloke with a beard and glasses in his 30s just playing games for the fun of it. That's this channel. Essentially a YouTube channel fresh from 2008 being plucked into 2024 and still pretty much doing the same thing. But yeah, guys, that's it from this little update video. Judging from the time I'm seeing 19 minutes. So there's a bit I'll have to edit out at least. But yeah, little update. Probably not a little update. I was waffling quite a bit when it comes to that. But anyway, I'm not good at these. Have I mentioned that before? I'm not good at these. Anyway, I'm going to edit this video, upload this video, and I'm going to get back to doing more content. Because got to keep that schedule going. I'll see you then.